Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Thursday, February 26, 2026. So we saw some selling today in the S&P, and really it was the NASDAQ that dragged everything down, and what dragged NASDAQ down was NVIDIA, and they had some really good earnings. They really grew pretty well. They met and beat all expectations, but the street is just beating up any of these companies that are putting this much money into AI. And I'll say it again. You're betting against the smartest people in the world. They're not just throwing these billions out there for no reason whatsoever. And the fact that they're selling them, I don't. It doesn't really make too much sense to me. But they were very overpriced and going into all this. So seeing some pullbacks and stuff, it makes sense with that part. But to punish a company that beat earnings and I think they raised guidance. They were up $2 in pre-market, and I think they ended up down 10 or something like that. But that brought the NASDAQ down, and that brought selling into the S&P. But again, ran right into our institution accumulation zone here. We got a bounce. It tested it again. And once we did that, this is where trades were really easy for IWM, and I'll show you. So here's the 15-minute chart. We have bullish divergences here. We got a buy signal. That will come in late because of this is a 15-minute chart. But from there, I was pretty confident that they're going to try to grab back the 6,900. So when we were here in we got actually short. I'll show you IWM all the way up here, and I took it off down here, and it kept going. But in any case, this was the clue to get long on IWM, but this is the S&P, so they had a good bounce there. And now let's take a look where the buy signals came in at. I mean, yeah, they had some. This is where the software, these signals will bother you, and really what you want to do with it is you want to see where the 15-minute chart is here. So you could see it. We have the buy signals. We have our indicator that's rolling up. So when you're on the 5-minute chart here, because things when they're moving down pretty quick, you're going to get these little whipsaw things. But if you know that the 15 minutes about to kick into a buy signal, you want to just use these as buying opportunities, and you layer in on the downside. And from there, because you can see here, our indicator was moving up, so we had massive divergences, and we came down into into an area where it was in support. So from there, we just saw the S&P go on a pretty good buy right into our institutional distribution zone here. So we're at a little bit of a crossroads where we're at the support here, and we're at the resistance here. So if it breaks higher, then we got to keep an eye on the secondary here, which is the 69.32. And if it gets above it, then we're looking at a test of the 69.53, and then our target's up above. So that's that on that. There's really not much more to go over. If the bulls can get over this, then we're looking at a move into the secondary. If they hold it and we start coming down, our targets are going to be 68.59, 68.43, and then the 68.25, 24. So let's go to the IWM, because like I said, we actually traded it really, really good today. And it was really the 5-minute charts that were very, very clean. Like the 1 minute, you had a lot of, up here, I really wouldn't pay attention to it for a couple of reasons, especially these buy signals, is because we see our momentum indicators heading down here. And then it's kind of late in the day, and we're just getting these little bounces back and forth. So I don't really pay attention to them. I would pay attention to the 5-minute. That's, you could see, got long here, got short here, and we actually, believe it or not, when we were at the 265, when we go to the 1 minute chart, because this is where it was moving really easy. And this is the 26. So you can see here that we actually got short on this bounce here. So it came up to the 265. We got the sell signal. It was we had a lot of duration in it, and we got short. It ended up coming down, and we were hitting some support in this area. I think I took it off at the 265. 263.85. It was something like there, but we got short almost at the exact top. So it was a nice trade, but then it really started to hurt when we went all the way down to 262. So if we held that and just paid attention to the 5-minute chart, we would have been able to ride this all the way down to 262. But the good news is that we got long right here because we are in our accumulation zone. We had buy signals, and we had a buy signal right here. We had divergences here, bullish. And when we were looking at it, we had a very big duration coming here. We were down at the below here. Once we got this buy trigger, I knew we were going to be heading higher. And actually, there's a video link that you're going to see in here because I actually filmed. I did this live, and it was this exact trade that we're doing. And there's music playing. It's only like 2 minutes long because it didn't take a whole lot of time to get up here. But in any case, once this turned, I knew we had buy signals. We got a turn here, and then we took the 1 minute the buy signal, and that was right around that. I think we were right around the 62 in that range, but we ended up taking this to 263s, and I got out of them right in this area here because we were rolling over. And of course, IWM is going to kick me in the butt for getting out early because this was our actual target on it because that was our institutional distribution zone. So we got into that area. We got a sell signal, but I didn't take it because momentum was going high. I just covered my long position. I think we made $540, and it was a matter of like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And so I was happy with it. And then, I started to cry when it went all the way up to 266. But this is how powerful this is. And I'm not doing this as a sales pitch. I'm saying if you're a trader, it's knowing where these pivots are and these, where the institutional accumulation is, and then where the secondary, you have a lot of confidence when the thing, it looks like it's crashing, and you turn around and you're buying here as everyone's selling, and then it just shoots right up. So, I use it all the time. I've used it with stocks, and it's really has kept me on the right side of the trade. Obviously, you get caught every once in a while when it goes through it, but for the most part, you trade with a lot of confidence, and it's a fantastic tool. And as I said, it's something I'm very proud of that I created because it really does help out a lot when you're making these trades. So anyway, if IWM continues higher, let's get onto the 15-minute chart here. And you can see it broke through the secondary. So the next line we're really going to be looking at is going to be the 266.86, which is the just regular resistance here. And if it gets above that, then we're probably coming all the way back up to the 268. So the small caps were on the tear today as everything else was in the red. I think the Dow closed up 10 points, but the S&P was down 40. I know the NASDAQ got hit, and it was the small caps, and that's what in our morning intelligence report, they've been saying to keep an eye on the small caps as well as the quantums. And if we take a look at RGTI here, one of my favorite stocks besides when I went that, but it's one of my bigger holdings I have personally too. You can see, this is this is an hourly chart. So we were getting buy signals. It was in our institutional accumulation area. We had bullish divergences, and this thing has shot up from 16, went all the way up to 19, and it pulled back a little bit, but I think it's going all the way up to 21. And once it's there, I'm pretty confident we're going way above these levels and probably heading somewhere up into the, where the previous highs were, where it's in the 40s. So I love this stock. The quantums did really well. And if, you go back and read the morning notes, the market intelligence, that's what they're saying. This is the time period for the quantums. And so far it's been pretty right with it. So I'm very happy. We did pretty well with the fund today. Hang on. This is that video I did where we made, it was literally, it's a 3-minute video, but this is what we made on that trade on it. But for the fund, we did 1709. A lot of that was, we definitely need some help with the trades that we made with IWM, but it was a lot of the quantums that really helped us out. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have another one of these days where we're getting just big duration moves, because we could have made a fortune on IWM if I did not, get out too early on this, and I didn't get out too early on the upside. But you know what? Profit's profit. That's all it is. So with that, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.